Hello, Earth Science. I'd like to explain to you the process you can use to reverse engineer an epicenter on a map and then retrieve that data to give to someone else so that they can replicate what you did. So this is sort of the highest level of this that you are going to be asked to do. So I thought it was pertinent to make a guidance video about it. This is all contained within Epicenter Lab 3. The first 2 pages, first 3 pages, you're just utilizing seismic data that I created, filling in a table, and then plotting the epicenter location on a map, which at this point in the course you know how to do. Now when you get to the next page, it says work copy. This is where the real fun begins. And I actually do think it's a little bit fun, so I want to explain to you how to do it. So you have a blank copy of a map that you can sort of mark up any way that you want to. And I'll just show you the process that I went through. The first thing I decided was where to put my epicenter. So I chose a location approximately, I'd say like here is this little town called Deep River. And it's a place that I like to go in the summer times when it's time to get away and relax. I've seen wolves there and bear there, and I have just a lot of fond memories of nature in this town. So I chose where I wanted my epicenter location to be, and then I start working backward from there. So the next thing I decided to do was decide where, I know I need to make 3 other locations that are going to triangulate to Deep River, Ontario. So I picked some places that I think are whatever. They're either I've been there before, they could really be anywhere. But the first place I decided to pick was Cancun, which is down here. So this is Cancun. And I wanted to figure out what my distance from Cancun to Deep River was in real life. Now when you do this, if you type in what's the distance from Deep River to Cancun, what you're going to find in Google right away is driving distances or flying distances. But the problem with those, when you drive from Deep River to Cancun, you have to drive all the way around here. And when you fly, you might say, oh, when you fly, you just go straight there. But a lot of times you don't. You like fly to Miami first and then go to Cancun, or maybe fly to New Orleans and then go to Cancun. So the distances are not accurate. So there's something that you can use called a great circle distance. So great circle looks like this. If you try to use a great circle calculator, they're not that helpful because great circle calculators tend to look like this: latitudes, longitudes. I don't want to do all that searching. So what I've learned to do is to rather instead type in what is the great circle distance from Cancun to Deep River, Ontario. Now, guys, Deep River is a very small community, so probably what's going to happen here is they're not going to give me too many good options here. Like, we're back to the calculators again in a map. I don't want to do that. So what I ended up doing is I then went and I used an AI app. I use Google Gemini, because these tend to do a little bit closer to something like this. So what I did is I typed it into here, and in the beginning of this conversation I was having with the AI, I said, yeah, you know what? Actually, it's very close. Deep River is to Toronto. I mean, it's not really, but it said it was. So, and the AI knew what the distance was from Toronto to Cancun. So I'm like, well, I'm making the map, so let's go with that. And it reported to be 1,800 miles. Okay, now here's where this is helpful to me. Once I knew that it was 1,800 miles, there were things that I could do now. So I can grab my scrap paper, for example, and I went on my map here, and I marked the distance from Deep River to Cancun on here. Like that. And I came down here to my scale, and what I did is I put this on here, and I just made a note that if this is 0, right here is going to be 1800. I just want to keep track of that. I'm not saying it's going to stay on my scale forever, but I want to know that that's the scale of this map so far. Okay, that's what I need to know for now. The next thing I did is I chose a location up here. I chose to be Fairbanks, Alaska. So this is Fairbanks. That's the closest city to where much of my family lives. So Fairbanks is a nice little city for me. So I chose to use it. Same thing, I went to that conversation I was having with AI about how far is it from Fairbanks to Cancun, and it reported it to be 2,500 miles. I'm sorry, from Fairbanks to Deep River, not Cancun. So from here to here, the AI reported to be 2,500 miles. So, okay, got a different edge of my scrap paper here. And come here, and I'm going to mark this too. So here's Fairbanks. There is Deep River. Put this on 0. Now I just have a little bit more information down here. A little bit more, because I had 1,800 on there, and now I'm putting this on here and saying, okay, so this now I know to be 2,500 miles. Okay. And then I just chose, I chose a random city. Well, kind of random. I like this city. I like a lot of cities, but I chose Minneapolis on the map. And I used Google Gemini to figure out what that distance was, and it says about 850 miles from Minneapolis to Deep River. So now I have a third piece of information, and I'll put this on here. 850. It's a good time to sort of take an eyeball look at this thing. I mean, it's not complete. It doesn't seem really out of whack to me, this scale. Like, you know, here's 850, so like 1,000 is probably like around here, and then I can see like 2,000 might be around here. I don't know exactly right, but just giving it the eyeball test, it seems to check out just fine. So then the next thing that I wanted to do was to figure out how to complete this scale. And there's a couple different ways to do that, but the way that I have found is best is to take something that you already know. Like, so I'm going to use this number, this 2,500, I think, because it looks like it's just beyond like the halfway point of this scale. So what I'm going to do now is measure this distance in centimeters, and it looks like I have about 9.1 or so, 9.2 maybe, centimeters equals 2,500. So I know if I go like 18.4, so that's 9.2 times 2 is 18.4, that I'll have 5,000 miles. So I'm going to go 18.4. Now this is a little off the map, but it doesn't matter because I'm the one creating it. So I can do this as long as it's really not off the page, and if it was, I can even extend it out because it's my creation. So 5,000 miles on my map is there. So I'm just going to extend this out with the ruler. And I don't want to use these numbers. I don't want to leave these numbers on my scale that I'm going to give one of my classmates. I kind of want them to disappear. Otherwise, they're going to look down and they're going to say, like, oh, well, those are the right numbers I'm supposed to have, and I can go ahead and start plotting my epicenter. You want your classmate to figure those things out based on your data. So what I'll do next is I'm going to measure this whole distance. I just did, really, but I forgot what it said. It was 18.4. So 18.4 centimeters. Let's give it another look here. Yeah, it's like almost closer to 18.5. So let's say that the whole thing is 18.5 centimeters. And what I would want to do now is I want to figure out how much every 1,000 miles is. Now I know I have 5,000 miles, so really what I'm going to do is just grab a calculator, and I'm going to take 18.5. I'm going to divide it by 5 because I had 5,000 miles. So that means on my scale, every 3.7 centimeters should be 1,000 miles. Fine. That's fine. I can handle that. So I'm going to go out to 3. Here's 3.7 right here. Okay, so that's going to be 1,000. I'll go another 3.7. This will be 2,000. Now I will go another 3.7. This will be 3,000. And one more time I'm going to go 3.7. And this is going to be 4,000. Again, good time to take an eyeball check. Does it look like they're about equal apart? It does to me also. Are the ones that are closer, like 1,800, does that look like it's close to 2,000? Good. Does 2,500 look like it's halfway between 2,000 and 3,000? Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Wonderful. So when I copy this over to my next piece of paper from my classmate, I'm going to put 3.7 cms equals 1,000 miles. That'll help me in my construction. And I'm just going to circle these because when I copy it over, these are the numbers I want to put onto my finished scale, not these ones. These are actually my solutions. Before I go any further, though, what I would like to do is to make sure that my epicenter is going to be somewhere close to where I said. Now, it doesn't have to be exact. I just want to make sure it's somewhere close to Deep River so that I'm not wasting anyone's time. So we said Cancun was 1,800 kilometers. I'm going to go ahead and put that on my scale now. Here's my 1,800. And I would definitely use a pencil for this, even though it's your own working copy. But you wanted to kind of, oops, that wasn't good. I got a very, very slack compass here, guys, and I apologize. Do it again. The reason this compass is at my desk and not in with yours is because my son was using it one morning like he was doing the thing that you guys do where he kept going. And I said, please don't do that, you're going to wear it out. And I don't think he listened very well that morning, so it's very loose, so I do apologize. 1,800, I can tell, you can see it's going to be this inner line here. I'll try to keep it straight as wanting to migrate around, but that's going to be my Cancun line, pretty close. Fairbanks is 2,500, so I'm going to go here, grab this 2,500 here, try not to let it slide around this time. Okay, it did slide a little bit, but it's pretty close. And then Minneapolis was 850, so I go here, I go to 850, okay, come up, take a look. Pretty good. So this epicenter right here is going to be colored in here, which is where I want it to be. So that part is successful. So the next part of this, we're going to take what we have here, we're going to put it on a new copy, and we're also going to show you how you can get your data off of here.